Dede malimpora kwa tamaa ya maisha bora. Akijiuliza
The first time I heard about mpenzi wa kwanza, I almost fell for you. But then I noticed you were hurting. Are children hurting in these homes?
Definitely children are hurting. It's just that they don't talk about it because we live in a society that discourages children from speaking in the midst of adults. Yeah, so we have very many hurting children.
Forgive me if I sound off, but a lot of children that are hurting, they are coming from broken homes and parents that decide they don't want to take care of their creations and all that.
Yeah.
How do you then intend to inculcate parents with these projects that you're coming up with?
Obviously, we have to have consent from the parents, obviously.
You are watching TheArtsinHeart, your home of authentic conversations.
Welcome to Elimishwe kwa masala ya jamii. Tutumbuizwe sana mbalimbali, tujuzwe juu ya matukio ya kila pembe, wapa burudani kwa familia nzima. TheArtsinHeart.
Good evening. It's Tuesday, and when it's Tuesday, you know how we roll. It is my perspective, rather your perspective. Here we get to discuss anything and everything that deals with men, women, and probably children. When you see me having my serious paid for eyes, I want to discuss serious issues. The other day I received an email that was a bit disturbing, and I thought probably we can have it here as a discussion. This guy called Andrew tells me, Ellie, I'm planning to leave the country. I just got married probably 1.5 years, and now I'm supposed to leave the country. My only worry is if I leave, I fear that somebody might start chewing on my bone. Please help me. That is the dilemma. And I have, of course, Godwin Segero. Good evening, Godi. How are you tonight? Wewe una mute simu bwana. Hebu fanya ile kitu ama nikufukuze show.
Huwezi nifukuza bwana. I'm here to stay. Good evening. How are you?
Okay. I'm great. How are you tonight?
I'm doing great.
Yes.
Good to see you.
Great to see you too, sir. And let's join James and Muhonja, the African. How are you, lady and gentlemen?
Hi, we're okay. How are you?
Tuko fine, thank you. Tuko fine, thank you. I can see James is looking hot. Did you take him on a date today?
Yeah, I was treating him today.
He's just
I can't because he's 1 week old. The other week we celebrated his birthday. So if you guys haven't had a chance to say happy birthday to James, this is your moment. And of course, Godwin, let's bring you into the conversation. Andrew is planning to leave the country. He's scared that somebody might come back and start chewing on his bone. Your opening remarks on this conversation?
My opening remarks, I'll encourage Andrew to go, because that's where the loyalty test begins. Because if someone is for you and they love you, they'll wait if they'll have to. At the end of the day, if he decides not to go and it's the only opportunity that he has, then that will be their way to poverty. So let him go. Mhonja, Africa.
Godi, I think we can't get you clearly. Your audio has a problem. I don't know if we can work on it from your end. It's kind of muffled.
Well, I believe that's sorted out. Probably it's coming from your end. Muhonja, these things of technology can do things. But anyway, You are encouraging Andrew to leave the country and go search for the greener pastures because he wants to continue his education and secure a brighter future. How about you, Muhonja? Let's start with you and, of course, have James come into the conversation.
Okay, I am a firm believer of family, and family means so much to me because I've grown up in a family where I've seen my parents together. Never have I ever seen my mom leave or my dad leave to go and do other things. And if one of them had to leave, it had to be a decision that both of them sat down and spoke about it. So I'm coming from a point of I love family, I adore family, I have been in a family. So if you ask me, I think Andrew is in quite a dilemma. However, we are here to discuss all those things. And for me, if you ask me, I would say I would never choose anything over my family, be it education and stuff, because if I did so, there are a couple of repercussions for the same if I chose that particular direction. And like any topic of concern, any bone of contention, you have to sit down and weigh the positive and the negative, the advantages and disadvantages. And for me, if you ask me, the pros, the cons actually outweigh the pros of him going to study Upomaju. So I would advise you to look for a school here because any me seriously.
Yeah, I think for me, I'll have to support what Monja is saying right now because it can be it's just a small thing like going to school, but by the end of the day, when you sit down and look the advantage and disadvantage of me going there, I think for us, I think we're in this position where we feel like there are more disadvantage of me going there. So there are a lot of things that will cost me after going to school, then coming back. I know there's a lot of things that will cost me. And for that reason, I think I'll choose not to go if I was Kibe. Yeah.
Kibe.
Andrew. Yeah. sorry.
I see what you did there. I see what you did there. And guys, if you're watching this, we are discussing about one man called Andrew. Andrew wrote to us and he told us that he is planning to leave the country to further his studies. He got a scholarship and he wants to go and further his studies. The only worry he has is that he is fearing the newlyweds, which is him and the wife, might grow apart and the wife could actually cheat when he is away. Whereas he's possible to secure a future for them. The dilemma is, what should he do? Kindly help us in the conversation. Let us know. God says he has no problem. He's going to leave. And if he has to leave, go because opportunities come so seldom. On the other hand, Muonja is a firm believer of family. She doesn't remember a day that the father or mother left. And of course, by virtue of making this thing look so legit, James is joining in the bandwagon and saying he agrees this gentleman should or must not leave. What is your perspective? And give us in the comment section with the hashtag #ArtsinHeart, hashtag #ThePerspective. Pardon me. So, Godi, I'm told kuna watu immediately you leave. Kwanza wanakusaidia kuenda airport.
Yeah, I know that. But again, as I said, I know Muhonja said something that she's a firm believer of family, which is okay. I also believe in family. But Andrew, our friend here, is also a believer in family. That's why he is in that dilemma. But as a man, how do you become a man without providing for your family? Because what is the ripple effect if you don't go? Because this guy has gotten a scholarship. If he had a chance, or if he had money, he would have studied here, as Muhonja suggests. But this is an opportunity that has come, and this is an opportunity that comes once in a lifetime. And assuming this guy, he does not have maybe a stable job that can provide for the family, And now that they are married, we are expecting children to come in, So if you deny this guy a chance to go and make wealth or money that can help him sustain the family, because the same one who says is a believer of family. When this guy is broke, she's the same person who says, you're not a man. Other men are providing for their families, but you are just here sleeping in the house. But when he had an opportunity to go and better himself, you denied him that opportunity. So you cannot speak on one end of the mouth saying you believe in family, and on the other end you're denying now the family, the head of the family, or someone who's supposed to be providing for the family, that opportunity. And then also Mohanja didn't see the mother and father leave each other because they were in a position to provide for each other. But if an opportunity came for the father maybe to go and provide more for the family, probably he would have left. Yeah.
Wow, those are very heavy ones. Mwanja, you have a comeback?
Oh, yes, I do. God is speaking like we grew up in the same household and he saw everything that was happening. And that's funny. Godi, there are very many. Yeah, that's your perspective, and that's okay. Absolutely okay. There are very many times that my dad had scholarships to go study in. There are 3. One in Korea, because my dad is a pastor. You Godi, you see my father is a pastor. I can cast demons out of your life, my friend. So dad had scholarships. One was to go to Korea. The other one was to go to the USA, and the other one was to go to Rwanda. And all of them involved a period of between 1 to 3 years in terms of what he was studying, theology. Yeah. But I still saw my dad sit down with my mom and they spoke about it, and then they outweighed the cons outweighed the pros. So eventually my dad did not go. And I'm happy to say that the decision that he made us happy. I'm sure both of us know that you can have a lot of money, but you cannot have a bond between the parents and the children, between the couples also. Like the man, you can have money, but we do not connect. I have money, you have money, we don't connect, yeah? But then you can have some little money, ile tu ya basic living, yes? And we can connect. And in this particular case, this guy is not going to look for greener pastures. However you put it, he's just going to further his education. Like we said, he has education, yes, but he is furthering his education, meaning this is not something that is, it's not something that like that. No, it is something that he can sit down and think about it. Godi, we live in an era where COVID taught us that I do not have to be physically present in a class. I do not have to be physically present in a meeting like this. We can use our systems to make sure that the meeting is running on. If this person, particularly if Andrew, if you're listening to me, you have to take care of your family first. This education is important, but I think you can explore other options. For instance, can you apply for online classes? About the same. I know very many people who've sat for online exams. I know most of us who've done, like we were applying for jobs the other day and the interviews were online. It does not mean that they're not effective. They are effective. We are moving in a world where we don't have to meet physically. But then we are losing touch with family. And for us to keep touch with family, you have to be there. God, you have to see your child taking that step. You have to see your child, your firstborn child, saying Baba or Mama. You have to see your child going to school, because these are memories that you create in your children. And these are the memories that they are going to live with up to date. And up to date, James knows my dad and I are very close, very close. Awesome. My mom is close to me, but my dad and I are very close because of that.
Mohonja,
he chose to raise us. Yeah.
Mohonja, for the sake of argument, before Gordon you come in, because I see actually James is equally here. For the sake of argument purposes,
yeah,
this gentleman has stated that he is required to go. You see, the objective is he must go and study abroad. That is the stipulation of the sponsorship. You know, there are these programs that they say for you to be able to fulfill, one, you must go to the location where they'll be offering these studies. So in this case, he's required to go to the physical location. But his biggest concern is he is concerned that the wife might cheat. And somebody pulled in a question and they asked us, why will Andrew think that the wife will cheat in the first place? James.
That is why Ellie.
Okay.
Sorry.
Allow
Ellie, that's
James,
why I was
please. Allow
answering
James.
you and saying, no, James has allowed me. Wait, we are one. James has allowed. No, I'm saying I'm sorry. Let me just say that. I'm saying not every opportunity that comes your way is important. You have to weigh and see the pros and cons. And in this case, he's thinking of the wife cheating. If that is his stress, why doesn't he just send an email and cancel that thing, or even postpone, or even suggest, can I come with my family here because I am an insecure man and my woman will do that thing when I have left?
I think for me, I think there's a problem there with the relationship. Despite of Andrew, Andrew could travel, because how can you date someone who? I think there's a problem with trust issues there, because if you are dating someone, and by the end of the day, if it's happened that you have to travel, or you have the trust issues. I think before the story of traveling, I think there's a big problem with that relationship. How it started and how those people they met. I think there's something which you don't understand about it, because I can't be sure of the moment I leave this house and Monja is going to cheat on me. How sure am I going to be? So if I'm sure of that, the moment I'm leaving this house and abroad to learn, Monja definitely she's going to cheat on me. There's a big problem there. There's a big problem, and I think Andrew, you need to understand on this thing before after travel. We need to them themselves they need to be in a position whereby they can travel. Andrew can travel Kisumu and Wapi within Kenya, but at least by the end of the day anafeel ako sawa. So before hizo trust zinakujaga tu hapa before hata nianze kufikiria kuhusu vile naenda majuu, naanze tu na hapa. The trust issues zinakujaga tu ni hapa tu. How am I treating my woman? Namfikiria gaje? Because not only him going to abroad for studies, hata akipata job, akienda tu job tu hapa tu Kawangware, akienda tu wapi, the guy will still have the same problem, because you have issues with your wife. The moment you're living there, that place, the woman, she can end up cheating, and cheating is cheating. It has nothing to do with distance.
Well. That's deep. Cheating is cheating. It has nothing to do with the distance. Godi.
Yes. Let me respond to Muhonja first on two issues. The first one being her alternatives of, I don't know, or choose online and stuff. Probably this guy was working, and it at the job place, they've offered him that opportunity to go and further his studies so that he can come maybe for a promotion. And this guy, maybe it's a practical course, maybe it's medicine. How will you do practicals online? So this is something that needs you physically there. You get? And then this issue of saying, I don't know, you can do it virtually. We cannot stay here and try to imagine, try to pretend as if when we are here, people don't even cheat, because you can be to see someone physically, but we're always away. We relate with people that are far because of the phones. We can be here, yes, physically, but everyone is on their phone. I'm here, but I'm talking to Eli, who is somewhere else. Muhonja is here, is talking to someone, I don't know who is where. So yes, we're here physically, but we are not here. Everyone is their own world. So what difference does it have when I go there physically? You understand? And then talking about also to respond to James, the issue of saying, it reaches a time where if you have to choose, as Muhonja said, you have to look at what outweighs what. You understand? So if instead of you sitting here, if you have maybe you feel someone will cheat, and you're the only person who is going to remain with yourself, then you better go, because after all, you need this job. If she'll wait, because again, you have to measure the trust, because if someone doesn't trust you being away, then why stay? Just go, better yourself, come back. If she'll be waiting, you'll pick up from where you left. But if she'll have gone, fine, you find someone else.
Godi, easier said than done, because once they drop you at the airport, the next time you are calling, you'll be crying to us like Muhonja was. Apparently, jamaa anakuja na fire maneno yake kwa nyumba. So we don't want it to get to that level. So the question we are supposed to answer is, why would she or why would he or she think that their partner might actually cheat? Because that is the bone of contention. And James already laid the ground. He says, could be there's a bigger problem than just the fact that you are suspecting they might cheat. So what could be these problems or these signs, like Matasio would have referred to them as red flags, that will tell you, you know, dude, this woman, as long as you are here, you are good. As long as you live a minute apart, things are not working. What could be the reasons?
And see,
I think
that's the reason. Moja, just before you go,
okay,
I've handled a real case, a real scenario relating to this case. You know, there's someone I know who was to travel, right? They had a child with the, okay, they were not yet married per se, but they were living together with a child. So when the lady had this guy got an opportunity to go and study abroad, the lady was reluctant, you know. But because when you don't want someone to go, it means also you have a problem. And true to it, when the guy went, it didn't take even was it 3 months or so, someone was already coming in. So would you want to tell me that now the guy should now leave his studies just to come and protect this person? No, because she can't hold the family, and she feels it's only by him being there, that's when the trust should be there. Look at it this way, Mohonja, because a marriage is made up of different components, and one of them being sex, right? So you have this guy, you have your sex, like your conjugal rights and all that, but this time comes, the guy gets a serious accident that he cannot perform. Are you going to leave him to go get someone else just because he's now incapable of doing that? You know, no. And that's the same thing. That's the same thing you have to relate. If this guy is going to be away, and you know, he didn't say he's going there forever. He's going there probably, if he's going for further studies, we're talking about maybe a master's. That's mean at most 2 years. So if you can't wait for 2 years, you know, then why?
I want to be
then
very...
why? yes, baby girl, tell us.
Yes, first of all, Godi, don't argue with me. I am baby girl. You're supposed to agree to everything I'm saying. Number one, you know, yes, there's a problem. James just mentioned that for this Andrew to think that the moment he steps out of this, there's a time Ellie told us a story of a man who went to war and locked his wife in a hut, and then he gave the best friend the key. And then kama hata hawako wamefika, they were not even halfway the distance. He saw a cloud of vumbi. What is vumbi in English? Of vumbi.
Dust.
Dust. Yes, a cloud of dust. And then he's like, hey, what's going on? And then the best friend is like, hey, this key, because he had told him, if I don't come after 3 months, then open it. So you see clearly, Godi, let us start by this. You mentioned sex, and I love the fact that you mentioned that. Wewe mwenyewe hapo mahali umeka, you know very well, you can't even function without sex for 2 hours. Research says that men, the average
have
man,
you been visiting God without our knowledge?
Natanga.
No, God is my best friend. He tells me. Okay. So it's like the research says that the number of times a man thinks about sex in a day is I've forgotten the exact number, but is so high. And God wants to tell me that he will be very faithful in the Maju while waiting to come back home. You see, you're just showing me clearly that you're full of patriarchy. You're scared of me cheating, and you want to go and cheat there. In fact, and explore, because it's a new country. So if you ask me, I will tell Andrew, you know, number one, if you are already suspecting your woman, it means you have a problem. And the problem is not even cheating. There could be other problems inside there that he is not seeing. For example, he's looking at it from the point of, we are going to lose the bond that we have. Yeah, remember these are newlywed couples. Yeah, this is a newlywed couple. Yeah, they're so close. Wako ile stage inaitwa honeymoon, the honeymoon stage, where they're touchy, they're calling each other baby, they're doing videos and all that. So the fact that he's feeling like when he leaves, the woman will feel the void. That is where it's coming in. So he is feeling like the woman will now start looking for someone to fill the void, However, if you guys work on that, it can be very different. Number two, this guy is looking at it from the point of expenditure, the cost. We were having a conversation the other time about moving in, not moving in. And we all have to agree that in as much as it's a scholarship, Godi, you've studied in the Maju before, in as much as it was a scholarship or you facilitated your studies before. Hata kama ni full scholarship, there are places where you have to pay for your accommodation. There are places where you have to work. Yes, it's called work for study, I think, something like that. You have to work. And number three, you've left your young family here. And like you said, with a chest that was so out, the man is the provider. So maybe even if you're studying, it's not my business that you're studying. You're supposed to provide for me, pay my rent, pay my school fees and all that. And this clearly is affecting Andrew. He is also thinking about that down low. Another thing that he's thinking about
Mwanja,
is the temptations.
Allow James to speak. What have you eaten today?
Why are you speaking on behalf of James?
Your copying is not so we can see. You are a good
Yeah, but
student.
I'm copying.
James is Andrew. He's been told don't go anywhere, so he's quiet.
I'm copying.
He's now acting like Kafusugui or Kafugusui.
Kapupusui.
James, able talk on your behalf.
Thank you, Ellie. Thank you very much. Thank you, my brother. Always myself talk on inside too, because when she starts speaking here,
It's the Jesus.
it's the Jesus now. But mine will be much more of contradiction, because I think the only thing, the only part whereby Andrew is really losing is that he already knows the woman, her behavior and everything. But someone told me that the best how I forget this word, mentor for a woman is a man. So once you know your woman and everything, her behavior and everything and the character, so, you're supposed to work on your woman just to make her better, because he's already know that the moment I leave this place, my woman will. She's capable of cheating and do all these kind of things. So as a man, when you're in a relationship and it's happened that you know like for her, she knows everything about me, and things that she doesn't like, she's really worked hard on it, like making me perfect. So as a man, the moment I know her disadvantage and what the challenge she's really facing in terms of what I know, she after nimetoka tu hapa nimeenda Maju, she will cheat. These are things that Andrew hajajua sahi. These are things that amejua, like because for the long time I'm in that relationship, he's aware of it.
Yeah.
My woman, she's capable of cheating, but what has he been doing about it? So now the nini scholarship inapatikana, the guy is ako sure anasema like, hey, I know my woman should cheat, she should cheat on me. But you know, I think that's not okay on his side, because these are things that he was supposed to control.
So what I hear here is that all of you are assuming the lady is actually the one who might be having some signs of cheating. What if the man is actually the one who has had history in the same?
Let me say something.
That's what I'm saying. This cheating is just the cover. There are more deeper issues under that, because you know, sometimes, Ellie, especially with men, if a man starts cheating, he starts treating his woman like she is cheating, because he thinks what he has been doing outside there is exactly what the woman has been doing. For example, James comes into the house, and because he has another woman outside there, and whenever he's typing, he has to hold his phone like this, and maybe I'm just typing, and that day I'm feeling like holding my phone, he'll start suspecting me. So Andrew has a problem here. He does have a problem, and that problem is not even cheating. The problems are root deep. and he needs to sit down and assess the problem. And in marriage, you're supposed to put out things in public, in bare. Let them sit down, express their vulnerability, and say, and you me, babe, I don't want you to go outside. Like James will tell me, babe, don't go there without me. I'll miss you and I'll call you. So just stay with me. And then we sit down and say, okay, Basi, let's stay. You know, let them sit down and discuss their vulnerability. They should not be scared of exposing their vulnerable side. They just talk about it.
Great. Godwin.
Another thing.
Allow Godwin, please. Allow Godwin. You two people are now, you've become the company owners.
Yeah, okay. So this is the thing. You know, you guys are assuming just because these guys are newly married, they know each other for a long time. Do you guys understand there are people who court for 3 months and they're married? Do you understand that?
Yes.
These 3 months
Yes.
is not enough time for someone to know someone's behavior. And what Andrew is doing is just being cautious. What if I go? Because yes, I don't know. You know, it's just the what if. What if I go and then she does that? It doesn't mean she's going to do that. And it's because, you know, and more so in Kenya, we know the site that we live in, and Nairobi, which is a very one big bedroom, where someone, you know, so such cautious actions are informed by what is happening within the environment that is surrounding us, you know. So it's not like he's just coming from nowhere and then things are, if I go, this guy will cheat, you know. It's because of the circumstances that are prevailing. That's the reason why he's trying to be cautious. What if I go, will this happen?
Godwin.
Yes.
The same question. The same question is asking himself. Now amepata scholarship. Like mbona nikienda the woman will cheat. It's the same question anafaa jiulize the moment anaingia to that relationship. Unaelewa? Like sahi we are not living together. She's at work and I'm here. Is she cheating on me? So the same assurance anafaa kuwa now before enter to the long 3 months. Hizo ni siku nyingi sana. 3 months ni nyingi. So there's nothing big. Yeah.
James, and look at it this way, because you see, that's why I say it's a very thin line to balance. Because what if he doesn't go? This guy loses a job. With this lady be there when he's broke, or it will be the same case. So it's better uwacho kama ukuja uko nayo pesa, akikuacha ukiwa nayo pesa, you can take care of yourself. Other than you lose your chance and then ubaki hapa, you become broke, she leaves you again. So you start you need double target. Uliacha scholarship juu ya msichana, ukabaki hapo ukakuwa broke, akakuacha bado. So what do you gain?
Godi, for you it's all about taking risk. You don't want to take risk anymore.
You know, the higher risk you take, the bigger the reward.
Godi.
You guys, let's just read some comments here. This is funnier than I thought. Hata sasa nashangaa Andrew anashangaa mnamsaidiaje. Let's get to the comment section, and if you can engage us, kindly do. Naona Zena Hussein anasema ukimwona mwanamume anamshuku mke wake kila mara, basi jua huyo mwanamume ni mdanganyaji, anayo michepuko kule nje. Isipopungua mwili se. Lakini Zena huo unanitesa na Kiswahili chako jamani. Miwili kama sivyo basi alikuwa danga kabla hajaoa. Sijaelewa, si ndio? You've understood that if a man is always suspicious of their spouse, it means that kind of a man was a cheat before, and he probably has. You know, those side arrangements, and probably had many before he got married. This could be his problem.
I think for this reason, I'll have to support Nani Andrew, because there are so many ways that you can know your partner. First, through the conversation you guys normally have, it can also dictate that this person, this can cheat on me. Her friends, someone told me, show me your friends and tell you the kind of person you are. You know, those are things that will bring it to the judgment. The other thing, mulipatana wapi. Now, there are scenarios unapata like tunapatana na dem, but the guy the mwenye tayari ye mwenye chali yake the ex alienda majuu, the cause of the relationship how vile ili end, chali yake alienda majuu. So even maybe Andrew ana feel the same thing is happening. Maybe the ex alienda majuu. So si lazima like it's not a much like the way I'm judging you, vile nakujajigi ni kwamba like mimi naona msena na kwa daily nafanya hizo vitu. Si hivyo, like kwa hivyo. So I'm just asking for I'm answering back to Fatma. Yeah.
I don't know who is Fatma, but that is Zena. We will find out who have you been. Mwonja, you have to investigate that further.
Who is Fatma, in fact? Are you planning to go and live with Fatma?
You see, Ellie, there is this thing we need to nice story because it's but then kila mahali. Anytime naambia this guy is a thief. Like when you see someone saying the other person is a thief, yeye mmoja anakuwa a thief. But actions speak louder than words. Nikiambia mmoja mmoja una cheat. Ataruka tu juu anasema like how ukiona mwanamume anasema hivyo story ya kucheat, kumaanisha yeye anachitigi. But it has nothing to do but your actions. Our conversations, your friends, mali wewe unakaaga, the music, sometimes even it can be the music you are listening to,
talking about cheating,
cheating, even the memes, unaniambia like, hey, hebu angalia meme, umse anasema ukinicheat ndakucheat mara 10,
yeah.
And
actually,
see the problem,
you know what?
The problem with us, James, we all want to learn from our own experience. But at times, let's learn from other people's experience. Maybe Andrew had a friend who went Maju, and then the lady akaanza kufanyia ile kitu. So he's just trying to be cautious. It doesn't mean he's suspecting the lady, but we are just learning from history repeats itself at times. So it doesn't mean.
But why can't you learn from my father? Learn from my father. Let Andrew learn from my father and know that family is important.
Your father was a pastor, alikuwa anapata sadaka. Ni sisi hiyo kazi tu peke yake.
Na nani amekwambia Andrew ana job hapa? Ameenda kusoma huko.
Listen guys. Let's try to concentrate a little bit more on the subject matter. And we're trying to find out why would Andrew actually feel this woman is going to cheat on him. And one thing that I believe should give us a bearing, it's from what James has said, that the friends, the kind of people you keep around, the kind of people and the conversations you portray out there, that is one. The other one that I believe should also give us a bearing is what Godwin has just said right now, that probably they have seen it on their friend and they're just being cautious and they are wondering, if I was to make this decision, what are my chances? Have you ever stayed away from a relationship? Let's start with you. Yes, Godwin. James.
I can also add another point. Is that okay with you?
Go ahead.
Sometimes it's always based on the sex life. How you guys active you are. Ojo ukijua kama unajua tu this is my demu wangu najua hatuwezi maliza naye one day without having that thing. It can also add. You unajua like saina and I'm going naenda tu majuma for 1 year and I know our sex life. How active we have been. Asubuhi mchana jioni like a dose. You know that thing. It can lead.
No. Ellie forgot to mention that I also said in this particular another thing to give us bearing is I said Andrew could be having underlying issues that are not even focused on even that cheating. For example, trust issues. Maybe he's coming from a past whereby he lied he was going to Githurai. You remember my story? I was here that day, Ellie, and we were speaking about my BMW story. I lied to this guy that I was going to Rwanda, but then my Rwanda was in Kawangware. And then this Andrew maybe was in a situation like mine. He lied, he was traveling, and then he came back, and maybe the ex or something was caught cheating. So he could be coming from that point, and he needs to work on that. first of all, before he even decides to move to go to study in the Maju. Because if he still goes there and there's still problem here in this, because he's coming from a very traumatic point of view, if he does not deal with the trauma that he had, dealing with cheating in itself or other issues like self-esteem issues, he will, hata akienda wapi, hata akienda hapa Kawangware kwa market and they live in Kawangware kwa DC ama kwa chief, kwa sub chief, he will still think the wife can cheat. Because how long does it take you to cheat? Just 2 minutes, yeah? It takes 2 minutes.
Wait. That depends on how quick you work on your projects. But that's you. Now we know you're a 2 minutes woman. We know that. Godwin, what do you have to add
ile
on
ya
this?
kuibia ni haraka haraka.
Godwin?
No, all I have to add is we are looking at the bigger picture, because at times, love, other than love that we feel we want to safeguard right now, because truth be told, in a relationship, love fades at some point, but after that, what will keep the relationship going? It's the businesses you have, it's the opportunities that you create so that you can have other constructive conversation other than just kusema love, sex, So you look at the bigger picture. If I stay here, what are my chances of growing? And all of us know we stay in Kenya, and we all know how difficult it is, even if you're having a job that pays even if 100,000, how hard it is to sustain a family. And you've seen men going into depression and committing suicide. But if you can have your wife, your newly wife, as a best friend who can trust you to go out there for the betterment of you and the family that is to come, that is, if children are going to come in. You see, that's the most important thing. But you cannot just say, because I believe in family, I'll have to stay here. I want to be seeing her every time, every morning. You look at her, she'll look at you and she'll get tired of you. Ataanza kuita and then wambie baba yenu hiyo ng'ombe imelala kwa kiti. That's the kind of terminology that we refer to us.
Godi, who hurt you? Who hurt you?
Who hurt you? Who hurt you, Godi? Who?
There's one thing that I need us to understand, that this guy is in love, newly married. Could it be that probably we need to think beyond the wedding day when we are settling on our spouses? Is it something that needs to be looked at, Mohanja?
I think marriage is an institution that is very serious. And before you settle down with someone, there are very many aspects that you've looked at. And like I mentioned in the previous sections where we were still speaking on the same, one thing that Andrew needs to understand is he could be coming from a very traumatic point of view. That is the problem. But now, how are we solving this? What are the solutions to that? And I said, number one is being vulnerable with your partner. One thing that this generation of ours does is we are entitled to our feelings. I don't want to show James that I can cry. If he hurts me, I will look at him and pretend like he does not hurt me. But deep down, akiamua kunifuata tu polepole atanipata kwa motura hapo na kule hiyo motura nikilia vibaya sana. And I think that's our problem. And for Andrew, I think he's not vulnerable enough to speak about these same insecurity issues that he has with his wife. Fine, he is in love. That is okay. But if you are in love and you still have past issues, traumatic issues, it will still affect your relationship. And that's why I mentioned it does not matter the distance. Hata kama ni hapa na ni hapa, he will still feel like the wife is going to cheat on him. So in this case, in marriage, they're supposed to be vulnerable with each other. Let them sit down and talk about it. Like, hey, baby, this is an opportunity, a great opportunity for us. However, this is how I feel. And like we mentioned some time back, there are things we call love languages. Maybe the love languages, Andrew, is just words of affirmation. He just needs to hear from the wife, like, hey, I will not cheat on you. I will stay here with you. I will be calling you. We will work on this even in that long distance. But he's not getting that because he's not vulnerable. So how can we help Andrew?
I think since you have talked about the marriage thing and the wedding thing, how the bigger picture, and I think most of the people who are entering into a relationship, there are things that or they assume, especially the marriage vows. Unajua unapata you are entering into a relationship, you have been in a relationship for 3 years, but hata ujui how the vows, hizo lines za vows zinakuwa vipi. Those things are very powerful. In happiness and what?
In sickness and in health.
Rich
and in poverty.
Mwonja unapangwa. Kuna mtu anapanga kukaa bila pesa. Don't tell me I didn't warn you.
You see. In richness and in what?
And in
poor.
So
you see, those words, me personally, they mean a lot to me. You see, and this scenario, when we scholarship and everything, you know, those are the hard times. So if kama Andrew angekuwa na consider those words, time kama sahi ange struggle, but ange struggle because anajua is entering into a relationship. It won't be a bed of roses.
Marriage.
You know, it's entering into a marriage. It won't be a bed of roses. But unapata most of the people that are entering into a relationship, hizo word wanasikiaga tu they are wedding. But those are things unafaa usikize, wewe mwenyewe unafaa ukram after you have entered into a relationship. Hata kama ni 1 week, you know this thing haitakuwa poa. There's a time who another travel. Am I able to comply with that? So once umeshika hizo vitu zote ziko katika roho yako, then the scholarship ikikuja, anything ikikuja, you can able to overcome. Uko na hiyo evil mind, like I know the moment I'm leaving Kenya naenda huko, udem cheat on me. Just know that this is the lowest moment of our relationship. It won't be easy for us. So just
exactly. And as I've said, I'll allow Andrew to go because in the same lines of vows, don't choose poverty when you can choose richness. So if you can have that opportunity to go and study and make money, why decide to choose poverty by staying around to monitor someone?
But he's studying, Godi. He's not going to work. He is studying.
What is the end result? What is the end result? You're not just going to study and then come and sleep.
The essence was only to secure a better future for the family.
No,
that is what is
I can be studying. No, for example, people where James comes from, people study to just have titles on their names. Engineer That's James, Dr. James, PhD holder. I didn't really have to study to secure a future. I could be a Professor James. Wait. I could be studying just to add a title on my name. Professor Mwonja.
If Andrew is of that kind, then he's mad. But if he's really going to study for the family, then let him go.
Let him go is what we're saying. But Nani, again, we have a few minutes left. Would like to ask us some, food for thought kind of questions, and let's try and respond to them. Is it possible that Andrew can actually travel, and if he travels, they can agree on how they can create open communication? Is this something that can probably give his heart peace of mind? Ama communication ni simu tu unapigiwa ukionyesha jikoni, lakini kishazimwa curtains zimefungwa?
Eli, I think I'll go first. So this is the thing, because looking, should he decide to go, then automatically that means he's gone into a long distance relationship, right? Mm-hmm. And for it to work, it will call for constant communication and trust. And I'm sitting here with authority as someone who's been in a long distance relationship for 2 years and it worked. So this is not a hypothesis. You understand? It's how much sacrifice you're willing to put in. You get?
Yeah.
Are you available? Because I was in a long distance relationship with someone within a different time zone. You understand? But the sacrifice, because one of you will will be up late, another one will be up early, or so how much are you willing to sacrifice?
Yeah.
And that will make things work. You understand? But the moment you start saying, oh, every time nilikuwa nimelala, nimeamka late, simu imeisha moto, that starts to raise red flags. Like, why don't you ever create time for me? You see? But if you choose to go, and then the other person understands you, trust me, it will work.
What if this partner or spouse has actually lived through that moment that there was a compromise on the relationship where there is evidence of cheating?
In terms of?
This individual, Andrew, okay, or let's say Margaret, they have been in a relationship and the spouse actually cheated. Could this give foundation to the reasons why they are skeptical about leaving and going to further their studies?
I understand.
And how can they help themselves go beyond that?
And you see, if you're in such a relationship, then that's where the whole point of talking comes in. These are my reservations on why I feel you shouldn't go. Or these are my reservations why I feel if I go, ABCD will happen. Now, how do you address that? Because there are those insecurities. How do you address the insecurities? That's the whole point here. Once you've highlighted the insecurities and you say, you know what, now for me to feel I'm okay, I need to do what? I need constant communication. Because at the end of the day, Ellie, do you know someone can cheat, but as long as they don't make you know that they're cheating, you guys will be okay. You understand? Because these are two different individuals. The thing is, don't make me suspect what you're doing or know what you're doing in case it happens.
What do you mean you're okay as long as you don't know anything about it?
No, let me tell you, Eli.
Yes.
We're trying to address real issues, things that are happening, right? We've had people raising kids that are not theirs, but they had no issue raising them until they realized they're not their kids.
Okay.
I don't know if you're getting my point. Because these people were there, maybe if it was, let's say, in this scenario, we're talking about the mother. Maybe she went out, got a kid somewhere, and then akakuja akasema ni mtoto wako, and then you agreed. You had no issue, you've raised this kid, umemsomesha. And then at one point, some nigga comes, claims, you know what?
The
Whoever
N
you're
word.
raising, yeah. Whoever you're raising is not your kid. That's my kid. If you want, let's go for DNA. You see how that's where the stress comes in. Because this guy has been okay all along because he didn't know. You understand? Because at times, we always want the truth, but there's some things that are better kept the way they are.
Help me understand this. As long as I do not know, it's not a big deal. Is that what you're saying?
Ellie, okay. On that, I stand with that because assuming you find out maybe one of your kids is not, you're not the biological father, and you spend on that kid, you love that kid as your own, and then, you pay their school fees and all that, and then all of a sudden, someone comes and says, you know what, the kid you're raising is not yours. What will you do? Will you leave your wife that time? Or like, what will be your scenario? But if this person didn't come, probably you'll not realize, you'll not have this, because that means it takes you into depression. You might even die just because you knew what was not known. Because what danger does it pose? Because either you don't realize, you guys continue living well, you continue with your job, your mental health is okay, or because you want the truth, and then you're depressed, you lose your job, you become an alcoholic and all that, you die. So what did the truth solve?
Come on, Godwin. Truth is always bound to come out eventually. We cannot use that as
Not
an
always.
excuse for That's interesting.
And Ellie, the thing is, I'm not saying it should, but again, we're trying to be realistic because these people are human beings.
Yeah.
You understand? Because I will tell you, I will not cheat. You go, I cheat. Does it make me less of a human being? No. I was just, I'm being me. And that's even Jesus on the cross. He said, Father, if this is your will, let it be done. But naumia ukweli, despite the fact that alikuwa mtoto wa Mungu. So it didn't make him being the son of God, it didn't make him less of a human being.
Godwin, your analogy today has put me completely off. You've caught me off. Zena says, guys, before you enter into marriage, make sure umepona kutokana na yale yalopita. Bure, utaumia sana na hautamwamini yoyote. Zena, you are really frustrating me with your Swahili. Reduce it, I beg you. Well, thank you for your contribution. Njekita says, best we talk about it, analyze all the aspects, and then decide together if traveling will be a plus for the marriage or a deal breaker.
That's a good point.
That's a deep one. So, Andrew, the verdict that is coming out, and unfortunately we've lost James and Muhonja. You know, live shows can be very, very dynamic in one way or another. You think you have everything technically, and then boom, it happens. But that's why we are here. We have authentic conversations, and we are discussing about a situation where a gentleman finds himself in. They have to travel, and they are asking themselves, will my woman cheat on me? Because that is his fear. So if you are to travel for 2 years, Godi, because you have the experience, and we've talked about the communication aspect and sacrificing the time because you're in different time zones, how other ways do you keep the fire burning so that this person doesn't long just to have a man, but longs to have you as the man?
Eli, all these people need is assurance. Give them a reason to wait. You understand?
Oh, should they not give you a reason to come back? It's just one way?
You see, Njekita raised a very serious point. Once you talk about whatever that is at hand, and then you weigh, is it for the benefit of the family or us, or it will be a deal breaker? If you guys analyze and then you decide maybe if you go, it doesn't add any value. There's no point of going as long as you understand each other, you reason through it. Not just saying, I want to go, I don't want to go. Why do you want to go? Why don't you want me to go? You understand? So once you balance everything, if this person lets you go, knowing that it's for the good of you guys, then that's enough reason for you to wait. And then there are other factors that might come in. Maybe the country you went to, after maybe job, maybe after studying, you get a job and you can bring in your family. That's a plus. But if you don't go, you might not get that chance. Or maybe if you have an opportunity for you to be visiting regularly, maybe during the breaks, you visit. It's not you're not going there and being around just because I came for 2 years, I'll have to be here for 2 years, even when you have opportunity to go back home and see her. Yeah. You understand?
Awesome. Thank you so much, Godwin. That was quite a conversation here tonight. And for everybody that made an effort to be part of the conversation, asante sana. Zena, nikiona message zako nimeshtuka. Sasa mwaka mmoja ama mwili pia ni kufanya mtu achepuke surely. Simketi tu mwelewane, mkatazane machafu, mjue ni kipi kinachofanya mmoja wenyu kwenda mbali. Pili, muhakikishe mawasiliano yapo sawa. Keep the communication lines open. Sit down, have an open conversation about the issues and why you're going. Because 2 years is not such a long time, tells us Hussein Zena. And that is it from us tonight. Thank you so much for making time. We hope to see you on Thursday. With The Perspective, we'll be hosting, of course, one Rubinina. If you watched us in the intro, she discussed much about why she's doing some projects, and you want to find out what projects are those. So tune in and make sure to subscribe. The handle is TheArtsinHeart Official on YouTube. Manze, help us push the numbers because we want to be able to sustain these programs on air. They are very expensive, and we are trying very hard to stay on air. So help us get there by simply subscribing, sharing the link, and being part and the biggest part of the family. Of course, Godin Segero, thank you so much for coming on, and our producer for that matter. We'll leave you with one clip here from the Ngolomas that had us in the Easter edition. If you didn't have an opportunity, this is your time to just see what you missed out. For now, Uhimidiwe by Eve Nyasha Ngoloma. Good night.
Umenisafisha, ukanizingira dhidi ya dhoruba, nafsi na kuamrisha, inuka umpe sifa, uhimidiwe, 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 uhimidiwe. Oh, anayetukomboa, yatuponya magonjwa, yatuvika wema nazo huruma, nanyi na wakaribisha, inukeni tumpe sifa, uhimidiwe, 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 Yesu uhimidiwe, uhimidiwe, oh uhimidiwe, uhimidiwe, nafsi yangu na kuamrisha sasa, usisahau alokutendea, alikukinga, amekuokoa, kuna budi ila kumuimbia, nafsi yangu na kuamrisha sasa,